Welcome back to episode 10,
Episode 10 of World of Pop with Josh and Jordan.
owners of Pop Coffee. This week we've really focused on DIY drinks for everybody. We want you to make some really cool drinks this holiday season. Check out the IGTV reels and whatnot all over. And, tell us about some cool drinks you're making too, possibly.
Yeah, we need to lengthen our shopping list a little bit.
We'll have another one at the end of this episode, right?
Yeah, what are we making? Kentucky coffee?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, either way, it's going to be a good one. And it's Friday, so happy Friday, TGIF, everybody. Except when you're listening to this, it won't be. But just so you know, it was a Friday when we recorded this. We're coming to you live, not live, from Detroit. Subscribe, though. And Jordan battled some health issues, and we're just glad he's better. So that was really the big to-do this week. We had a little bit of a break in production.
Yep. Had a short stint in the hospital. Wasn't the best.
I was terrified.
Yeah, Josh was terrified.
I'm his emergency contact, everybody. So.
I was really sleepy while I was there, so I wasn't really scared. But
well, we also got a really good show for you today. That's going to basically start off with an interview, and it's our first international interview.
That's right. We've got Jose Acevedo. Sorry about that. Acevedo. There we go. Yes. From San Fernando Coffee Farms,
really
coffee growers in El Salvador. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Well,
right. I've only had my one cup of coffee yet, so.
Awesome. Well, you're here, and that's what matters. And again, Jose, can you first and foremost, it's San Fernando?
Yes. So it's San Fernando Coffee is kind of our brand and how we are known here in El Salvador and all the people that buy our coffee around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard that you were fifth generation.
Yeah. So basically, my family's been involved in coffee for as long as I can remember, and we've done everything. We've done milling, we've done growing, exporting, a bunch of stuff. Throughout the many years that coffee has been an industry here in El Salvador. So it's definitely something that I grew up in. I grew up in, scraping my knees on coffee farms. I learned how to walk on a dry patio. So, it's something I've done all my life, and it's something that I want to continue doing here in El Salvador. So I'm pretty excited to get to know people that are excited as coffee as well, around the world. So I'm pretty happy to talk with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy to me, like, compared to my childhood. That's wonderful. That's so cool to hear.
So how old are you, Jose?
So I just turned 30. I definitely feel 30 now.
Yeah, no.
You look good for 30. I love the mustache. I'm trying to grow it myself.
Thanks. Hey, you can't go to the mountain without a mustache, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't work out.
That's what I've heard.
He's killing you, though.
Yeah, my mustache.
Keyword trying.
Really trying.
But yeah, I wanted to start out the interview by asking you really just, so you just turned 30. You've been in coffee your whole life. Have there been any, notable changes in how things were done when you were a child versus now with the big...
Massive change. I think, in the last 15 years that I really was involved a lot more in the farm. Because when I was growing up, it was just kind of like a fun going to the farm, just kind of doing whatever. But once I started like formally working in the farm and doing things in coffee, it's changed a lot. In the last 15 years, especially like if you talk about production, El Salvador has gone down a lot in the production of coffee, and it's things are shifting the way coffee is being prepared, the way it's shipped, the way it's been sold. It's changing a lot now. People are focusing more on those relationships that grow strictly between grower and roaster, which I think it's good. But we had a really, big crisis here in El Salvador also because of leaf rust.
Really?
Yeah, Hemilia vastatrix. Yeah. So it was a big problem here in El Salvador And the typical cultivars that we grow here are very susceptible to it. Bourbon and Pacas are terrible. They have terrible susceptibility to leaf rust. So it's been the last 15 years, I've been kind of a bit of a rough patch for El Salvador as far as coffee growing. There's, as far as, the growing side, we are getting back on our feet, but things are not gonna go back the way they were because it's changed completely. Out of everyone that I know that is involved in coffee, I'm one of the youngest ones still growing. Like the other guy that I know that's growing, just strictly like growing coffee, is like 45. So wow. we have it's been having that tendency of being more older people, and that's why I focus a lot in El Salvador, trying to get more young people into growing, because we have a lot of young people roasting, a lot of young people doing everything with the coffee machines, espresso machines, like focusing on like competitions and extraction. A lot of people working on the exporting side of coffee.
Is rich, it sounds, in the coffee culture.
Yeah, I mean, El Salvador in the 50s was the third largest producer of coffee in the world. So
absolutely.
But this grower roaster direct connect is kind of what I'm hearing. The economics of how coffee gets brought to you has changed a bit, and like everything, it's a business model, and sometimes things need to be shifted in order to stay afloat. As an industry as a whole, like as a whole country, because there's only so many places coffee's grown. You guys have a very, I didn't know all of that, honestly. You're dropping some knowledge on me. Thank you. Could we talk more about that, though? The grower-roaster connection you mentioned? Because you do both. Sorry? You do both, right?
So, I'm the manager of the farms we have. My mom is the owner, and I just look after everything. So I'm the vice president of everything. So I do all the growing side, and I talk to the roasters. It's one of the things we focus a lot, because it's before it was just you grow the coffee and then you send the cherries to the wet mill and then you forget about it. But now with this whole change between the relationship within grower and roaster, I focus a lot on knowing the roasters, what they want, and knowing my coffee, because I know my cherries, but we don't drink cherries, we drink roasted coffee, right? So right. I've been focusing a lot about knowing more about my coffee, knowing how the different growing techniques affected, how it changes. And, I have only the experience, limited experience, because I only cup El Salvador coffee. Roasters usually have a plethora of coffees that they cup and experience in other coffee growing countries. So that's why it's interesting to always come and have a relationship with them, because then you can know, okay, this is how things are done in another country, and that can give you ideas of how you can shift things a little bit here to do some of the things here. So an example of that is grafting. We've been implementing a lot of grafting in our growing techniques, just taking the roots of Nemaya, which is very closely related to Robusta, and then we put our Arabica trees grafted on top of the tree, so that way we can use less harmful things on the soil, because just the roots of the other plant are more naturally, they're stronger, so that way we don't have to use like as many things on the soil to take care of the plant.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
so grafting is really like cloning, kind of.
You cut the roots of one tree, and then you just kind of put the other tree on top.
Okay.
So
splicing them together.
Awesome.
Using the support system that's already in place to help something else grow, something more desirable like coffee.
So,
and I understand that it's harvest season in El Salvador currently, right? You guys just began your harvest over there?
uh, we're about to harvest Monday, so that's why I really wanted to talk to you guys today because
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you
So
must be.
harvest.
I was like, you must be getting crazy busy over there.
What's the
Really appreciate the
months?
time. Yeah, what is the LSA? How long is the harvest season out there?
well it's quite long, so it starts around you know November to like it might stretch out till March. So definitely we've had a
We're here in Detroit. We're completely frozen from November to March.
yeah, I mean it's a long harvesting season. It's not everywhere because the coffees, in the lower altitudes start going in earlier. But once you start going on the really high mountaintops, you can get to March, even April, just waiting for that coffee to get that really like plum color. So it could definitely take a while. For us, we've had a couple of passes on the farm because it's been raining a lot. We've had a lot of, it's been crazy hurricane season everywhere, and we've had a lot of rain. And if it starts raining and the coffee is red, the skin breaks open and then it dries on the tree, and that's not good.
No.
So we had a couple of passes on our farms because we had some rains, but the bulk of the harvest will start Monday. So I'm taking my time to relax.
Glad we
Well,
caught
hey,
you.
I mean the weekend's coming up. I hope at least you get a little chance to relax before really
Yeah.
busting ass out
I'm
there
really
and
glad
getting
we
it
did
together.
this. Yeah, before you'd be in the fields.
Um, what's your favorite part about harvest?
Definitely, spending a lot of time in the mountain and just getting to see all the coffee come out of the trees. It's definitely, you get one harvest a year, so it's you work your butt off all year long, and that's the time where you finally get to see all the product of your work. And definitely, yeah,
Realize the fruit of all of your labor.
I'm picturing it now.
I'm picturing just thousands and thousands of pounds of coffee cherries fresh off the trees.
And so you took your first footsteps in a coffee field, So you took your first footsteps. You told me.
So we have some drying patios in the farm, so that's where I learned how to walk. Basically, I think my mom has a picture of me just being this like really chubby kid, like scraping my knees on the patios.
Yeah, and I mean, so basically, what I'm trying to get at is coffee is in your DNA.
Yeah, so I wouldn't dream about doing any other job. I can't, sit in a chair for too long. And I've been doing it for so long. It's really my passion. Like I said, it's been kind of rough the last couple of years because of everything that's been happening. And it's tough to adapt with like, because it's trees. It's it's not like a factory where you just change a part. So we've been doing it little by little. We've been learning how to deal with the rust, building those connections with the roasters, really understanding that there's more to coffee that just the cherries being red. There's a lot more that happens to coffee, and a lot more that influences quality.
From the soil to the air, and the elevation, and the water, and the nutrients.
To the I mean,
and
how the
that's just
coffee
the
gets
beginning.
processed, everything.
No, and that's why we're, our name is, Pop, but that's for pour over perfection, and we're really, only gonna roast. We taste those. I don't know. We freak out about like little things, but everything you're saying really hits close to home to like our ideals as well as a business, and so I really respect all the stuff you're saying right now, and I can't wait to try some of your coffees.
Been changing. I've seen a lot of change also with like all the processing methods, the different fermentation methods that we've been seeing lately. I've done some crazy experiments. Some have tasted good, some like not too well. So, but I think definitely, the coffee industry is adapting to what's going to be in the future. It's just that, what I try to focus on is getting more young guys into growing. Cause I think, yeah, so it's a tough job. Um, Definitely, it's backbreaking work. But it's and you guys might think differently, but I think a lot of what coffee is comes from the mountain. So a lot of what you have in coffee, you can't put after you pick the cherry from the tree. So it's very important that we have young people and fresh blood here in the mountain doing this and getting involved in growing and understanding what growing techniques do to their coffee if we want to get good coffee, and most importantly consistent quality, because that's what we've been focusing on with our farms, getting consistent quality, because it's
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, it's not a factory where you're just pumping out parts. They're trees, and each one of them is their own tree. You have to treat every single one as its own standalone thing. It's not something that can just be you know.
Still good.
Oh,
We're still good.
sorry.
Had a little connection thing. Everything's good though. So, do you have any other questions here as a roaster, Jordan, about roasting maybe? I know we talked a lot about farming, but I think that,
I really wanted to focus actually on the processing method that you guys use
okay.
for your coffee cherries.
we have there are standard processing methods that we have. We have our the bulk of our coffee is washed, just because that's the way traditionally our clients have been buying our coffee. But we still do the naturals and the honeys. Definitely we get some lots out of those. But this year I'm going to start working a lot more on just controlled fermentation, using some of those yeasts and carbonic maceration as well. So because I feel that I need a lot more experience in that, and I think there's been less of a study done in the fermentation of coffee and what it can do and what it really is.
Oh yeah, they're terrified.
Terrified. On the roaster side of things, a lot of roasters are actually like terrified to mess around with any kind of fermented coffee. They don't want to play around with something that's so unfamiliar to them, because roasting them is very different.
Yeah, so I roast here for our local market, and it definitely, the processing methods can definitely affect your curve a lot. I see it a lot, after you drop, when it starts like temperature to go up, that changes a lot. It changes the cracks. I mean, it's like starting all over again with some of the processes when you change the processing method of the coffee. And if you add on top of that, if you're changing your variety or changing your supplier, definitely it can be a challenge to do it. Like I said, I only roast El Salvador coffee because that's the only coffee I get. But I could definitely see how it can be a challenge for roasters as well.
Greens.
Yeah, I'll send you some greens from around the globe that we've got our hands on.
Hey,
Yeah,
sounds good.
That sounds like good practice to like compare. And I mean, honestly, we really want to try some of yours.
Yeah, I reached out to you guys via email. I requested some greens.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw you submitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to fill out. I accidentally hit enter instead of tab, so I forgot to fill out like the "tell us about you" part, and I was like, maybe they'll know who I am. But yeah, so you wrote that email back to me about getting those greens. I love it. I love to hear it.
That's what I'm talking about. But I also love how coffee brings people together in general across the globe. And you're right, it does begin on the mountain. No matter how we get it, everyone starts their day with it almost, at least 50-60% of the earth.
No matter where the coffee came from.
I think that is it's weird about coffee, and I think I've talked to other people about this as well. I think with a lot of the younger generations, we've been moving away from agriculture so much that people don't really know where our food comes from. So a lot of people drink coffee, but they don't know where it's grown. Like when I tell people coffee is a cherry, they give me like a weird stare sometimes, because they don't know like how it's grown, and it's something that everyone a lot of people drink. So everybody knows the beverage, but they don't know where it comes from. So it's definitely
I'm a huge health guy, and so knowing where my food comes from is essential. But coffee is actually, heavily, in the world. I'm actually on our last show. It's not even out yet. We talked about organic versus conventional coffee, and something Pop Coffee is dedicated to educating people about. And so we're really glad that you're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, when people drink their coffee, I don't think that the first thing their mind goes to is the people that were growing it. I think that might be something a lot of people don't think about.
I want to know.
And I want to thank you, Jose, one of the people that grows all of, grows the coffee.
This is where thank you for what you do. This man feel like a thankless job sometimes, but it's really important, and we need more people like you, younger guys in agriculture. Yeah. And younger guys and girls and non-binary people, everybody, I don't care who you are, but you need to get involved in the agricultural side and understand, at least if you don't, understand where the bean began as a cherry.
Yes. It's important to understand that it all comes from the planet. It all comes from Earth.
Back to basics, baby. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's something really, really important that I think we've been losing a bit, just in general around the world. So.
Well, thanks for coming on today, Jose. It was great talking to you. Really looking forward to getting some of those greens.
First of all, Jordan, that's Jose Acevedo.
Yes.
That's why I'm the host.
Yeah.
He's the roaster.
I went to school in America, and I called someone on the phone, and they called me Jose Avocado. So you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't butcher it that bad.
No. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But again, thank you for being on the show. I look forward to trying your coffee. Yeah, yep. I'll see you later.
See you, man.
Take care, man.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. That was a great interview. I love shedding light on where everything comes from, I think that people need to remember, whether it's bread, whether it's coffee, whether it's fucking tortillas, it's all coming from grains, cherries, fruit, anywhere that it comes from. It's still coming from the ground, and a person had to grow it personally.
That's exactly right, and that was our first international interview, and I think it went pretty darn well. Hold on,
absolutely.
I'm getting a phone call.
On that note, turn your phone on Do Not Disturb mode, and we're going to wrap that up and head into our next section. We're going to review this really nice Fellow coffee mug that we got.
Yeah.
Side note, Fellow makes some really badass coffee products. Other than this, their Stag kettle is literally my favorite kettle in the whole world, although it's very pricey.
Yeah.
But onto the cup.
That's for another episode. Right now, I'm just reviewing the cup, which I believe was like $30, Amazon Prime, and where I'm coming from. Here, I can't sit in this goddamn bar stool anymore. All right. So, the Fellow mug is basically the shit. And the only problem I have with it is the thinness of the lip. I'm just like doing some stretches right now.
Yeah, it does feel like the inside of a soda can.
The interview really got me cramped up.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know, we're sitting in Josh's like tiny kitchen with no windows and all the doors shut. It's like a hallway. It's like a hallway.
Anyway, bottom line, Fellow mug. It is $30 on Amazon Prime and $27.50 I found.
But Josh, one more question: which model Fellow mug is it? Because they make more than one.
I believe it's the Carter.
The Carter.
The Carter.
It's definitely a travel mug. It looks like a pill.
We're gonna double check this, and
it's seamless.
We're gonna double check on my Amazon history. It's so plentiful. But anyway, the point of the story is that I can take this mug right now and I can put it in my backpack and put hot or cold liquid in it and be secure that with my laptop in my bag that I'm not getting any liquid.
Not a drop.
Yeah, no, I actually tested this, throwing my bag around, and honestly, I got to give it. I would have given it a 5-star, but the only reason it's a 4.5 is the lip. I hit my tooth on it, Fellow. This almost got a lawsuit.
Almost got a lawsuit on your hands.
Yeah, for my front tooth, because that's a big deal. You mess up your front tooth.
Yeah, you mess up your back. You mess up your back tooth. Nobody's gonna notice.
Oh no, a piece fell out.
A piece of Josh's tooth fell out the other day. I'm in Josh's truck last night, and he just goes, "Oh hey, I think that I thought that he was handing me a joint to light up." And then he opens up his hand and he drops this piece into mine, and it's just a piece of his fucking tooth. Mind you, it's a pretty sizable chunk too.
Yeah, it was actually
got me kind of nervous.
I know I had some. It was a back molar. It was just some dental work. I need to get the temporary. I need to put the crown put on. Anyway, The Fellow Carter Everywhere mug and the 12-ounce size is specifically what I'm talking about. I got the matte black one. It's freaking beautiful. I highly suggest it. Shout out Fellow. Shout out everybody who no branding on it. Is really whoever designed this thing, you're cool because I love my Yetis, but you know, with the logo, you know, I like putting our sticker on everything though, you know, Pop Coffee sticker, but
Yeah,
it's
but
cool
we own
when
the
the other
company.
company's not on it
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like here we're looking at my Yeti and the Fellow, and I'm gonna have to say that I might be switching over to Fellow Mellow.
Fellow Mellow. They've got
Fellows-
great branding. They,
yeah.
you know what? In addition to that, they do truly make a great product.
The Mellow Fellow Carter mug, everywhere mug, 12
Everywhere.
ounce. Get it before it's gone.
The
But
Carter.
actually, I don't think. Actually, they were low on stock because of the holidays. I just bought 3 more.
Oh boy.
I know. We're not even sponsored or being paid to say this, but that's also 4.5 for the Fellow everywhere. Carter.
The Carter 4.5.
Jordan, I am so hyped on this next section. It's called. I'm gonna drop this for everybody.
For those of you that didn't know, nope. You remember last week
Well, you
when I
had-
yelled about this?
Yeah, we've had Americanos. Yeah, you've had Americanos. I mean, actually, that was my first drink that got me into the espresso world, really, from coffee, because it's a great bridging the gap. You know, you mix one espresso coffee, no milk or anything, and you just kind of go for it. But that's, in lamest terms, what happens. So Jordan's going to go into the details of what Americanos are, what they aren't, what makes them what they are. Anyway, the section is called Make Americanos Great Again.
Yeah. I'm tired of all of you baristas.
Wait, can I say
some
that again?
places.
Can I say that again?
Yeah, say it again. Say it with some gusto.
Make Americanos great again.
There it is. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, I'm tired of going somewhere. An Americano is a really good beverage, and a lot of people don't like them because baristas just do. I don't mean to talk shit about baristas, but honestly, guys,
Well,
you're really
one.
fucking.
Or were one.
You're really slacking with your Americano game. There's nothing that pisses me off more. I'm so into this. There's nothing that pisses me off more than when I go to a cafe to get an Americano and they pour a shot of espresso into a cup with no water in it and then put hot water on top of it. That's not an Americano.
No.
You know what else is an Americano?
Gross.
Holding their shot glass 4 inches above the cup and just pouring it in one motion so that everything sinks to the bottom. It's not what Americanos are. Americanos are supposed to have texture. Just
That's
a little
right.
bit. Just a little hint of texture. There's a huge difference between a hot cup of water with espresso in it and an Americano. They're very different things.
Entirely.
Tip for you baristas out there that are making Americanos, just layer it. Just layer your Americano.
Like a layer cake, like a 7-layer
Like
cake.
a 7-layer
baby. You
cake,
ever had
except
one of
it's 2 layers. It's
like-
just crema from the espresso,
No, it's actually
layered
like a
on top of the
2-layer
water.
A 2-layer cake.
A 2-layer cake. It's like a half of a sandwich.
But honestly, a good Americano. I remember stopping ordering them because they were so hit or miss.
No, the first
And-
time I ever had a good Americano, because I kept drinking them. I kept getting bad ones. I didn't know any different. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, this is,
Probably like 18 back then.
this is all right.
Doing that.
And then somebody made me a good Americano. They layered
That's so
the
good.
espresso on
The crema.
top. They filled a cup up with hot water first.
Yes.
They met the cups at an angle.
Break it down.
The crema slipped right on top of the surface of the water.
Slipped.
And the espresso went down and, mingled with all the hot water down there.
Marinated and stewed.
And the vague amount of texture, it's not vague. It's a very startling thing.
I feel like when
The
it hits
actual
the tip
amount of
of the
texture on top of that beverage
The crema.
turns it into something so different.
Yep.
Because people always ask, they're like, well, an Americano is pretty much just a drip coffee, right? Well,
Little do
not
you know.
really. It's a good substitute for a drip coffee, but they're very, very different things.
All right.
I just want people to make them right.
So end result is if it doesn't have the texture, it's not made right, and it needs to be poured in a specific way.
If it doesn't have the texture, you can dump it out.
Baristas in the Americano world, anyone making these, please just take all this to heart and if you make them at home too, it's actually really fun to practice because they're, it's really like kind of like a motion that you in everything. It's a easy, it's a simple drink, yes, but done wrong, it's so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's one way to make an Americano correctly, and there's a lot of ways to make them wrong. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I
Who
think we're
would've
gonna have
thought?
to make a video for this, but
Yeah.
wait, what am I doing with this? I gotta get bourbon and sugar.
I don't have any hot coffee made yet.
Oh my god.
I know I drank it all before the show. So, moving on. I know that we said, I thought...
Okay, so we're gonna put this on our next show. And
Did I
then
say
we're
it
gonna
live?
We're gonna review this.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit. You guys are going to be so hyped. Josh, what are we doing? You need a bowl?
Yeah.
What are you
give me a
doing?
bowl.
What do you need a bowl for?
I'm going to open up this beautiful box of pumpkin spice Cheerios. No, they're not honey nut. Pumpkin spice Cheerios. Oh, they smell horrible. Oh my god, dude. It smells. Can we talk about pumpkin? This is the episode. It's called Pumpkin Spice or Nice. Nice
Dude,
or not.
This box.
We're
of
just
pumpkin,
reviewing things with pumpkin spice in them.
This box of pumpkin spice Cheerios smells like smells like fucking corn puffs.
So bad.
Corn puffs and like fucking herb.
All
These don't even look good. They're like orange.
All right, here we
They
go.
look like fucking Cheetos.
Live on the air, pumpkin spice Cheerios with whole milk. With whole milk. Pumpkin spice Cheerios with whole milk right now.
What's the scoop?
You hear that? I'm letting them soak in. I want it to soak in a little.
Listen to the you need to get that crunch. People love
Dude,
the crunch.
I'm really. I might. This is
Here,
gross.
I'll do it.
No.
Hand them to me.
All right, we're both doing it.
All right.
Ready? I'm going first. Mmm. It's not as bad as I thought. It's not good though. Oh my god.
You know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Dude, you're spilling cereal all over the place. They're like Apple Jacks light. They're like if Apple Jacks tasted like not that great.
Wow, they're bad Apple Jacks.
Yeah, if they put like 10% of the flavor of Apple Jacks on top of some unflavored Apple Jacks, this
Holy
is what
cow!
it would be.
If you close your eyes and you say these are Apple Jacks, like and you kind of act like they are Apple Jacks, you might be able to tolerate and stomach them, but they're getting a 2-star on my book. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a no from me, dog.
A no, just a no.
That's a no.
You're not even getting the star rating scale.
No, I would never fucking eat those again.
Do not buy pumpkin spice Cheerios. And we'll be reviewing
Kentucky coffee.
next time.
We're gonna make one on air.
Other than that, I think that's your show.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed us talking to Jose. That was really cool. I'm definitely gonna get some samples from him, and if we like all the coffee, we're definitely gonna order some. And
I get that taste out of my mouth, man. Those pumpkin spice, it just stains your tonsils.
It's not that bad.
Dude.
Josh is over here. For those of you that can't see, Josh is like sweating really bad, tearing up from these Cheerios. He looks like he's gonna pass out.
I gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Say your
We gotta go. Yeah, it's always a great time for a cup of coffee, and not pumpkin spice Cheerios.
Stay caffeinated.